This conference will now be recorded.
Then we will, I got to start over again. Okay. Remote participation. This is an opportunity for the public to provide public comment to the presiding officer. The public comments must comply with Ordinance 2014-02 and be limited to 5 minutes or less. At this time, members of the public are able to attend public meetings by web conference and to submit public comment by email, voicemail, or through web conference. Is there anyone more? Consent agenda. Approval of documents and action items is listed. Claims report. Claims dated July 15, 2025 through July 28, 2025. Meeting minutes. City Council meeting minutes July 14, 2025. Closed session meeting minutes July 14, 2025. Budget report June 2025. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions of city staff on any of those issues? Hearing or seeing none, can I have roll call?
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Lively? Yes. Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Mayor's report, upcoming events. Piatt County Soil and Water Conservation Foundation is hosting an electronics recycling event on Wednesday, July 30th at Piatt County Forest Preserve Park, and an oil and tire recycling event on Friday, August 1st at Piatt County FS. Irish Fest is Friday, August 1st at 6 o'clock p.m. at Allerton Park. The Piatt County Museum's annual Quilt Festival is Saturday, August 9 from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the DeLand Weldon High School. This year's event will showcase quilters from the Sangamon and Goose Creek Townships. The Monticello Railway Museum's Tractor and Trains event is also Saturday, August the 9th. The Sage City Triathlon is also Saturday, August the 9th. I'd like Terry Summers, the city administrator, to speak of another event that's going to happen this weekend. That's you.
I thought you meant during my report. So the Monticello Recreation Foundation is doing their second annual Smoke and Octane event, which is the barbecue competition and car show, Saturday, October 2nd. The car show registration is from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Judging is done by not only the car show participants, but spectators. So it's pretty cool. You can go judge whatever vehicle you want to judge. And the awards will be at 2 o'clock. For the car show, the barbecue competition, they'll be smoking beef brisket, chicken, and pork. And judging's at noon. At noon on Saturday, there'll be a band during the car show from 9 to 11-ish. There'll be a band Saturday night after all these events. This year they wanted to do a little bit more kid-friendly stuff. So there's going to be, you can make your own license plate, arts and crafts kind of thing. You can paint a small little wooden vehicle of your choosing. Then they're also going to do a touch a truck event. So Monticello Fire and Rescue is going to be there. The Monticello Public Works, be a couple of trucks in there. Kirby Ambulance Service will be there. So Monticello Police Department will be there, and hopefully Piatt County Sheriff would have a deputy and a squad there. So a lot of activities all day Saturday, beginning at, the cars will start showing up at 7:30 in the morning. So all day event. Adult beverages will be there. I think there's going to be 5 or 6 different food trucks this year, which is more than we had last year. So Mayor Stoner is one of the judges for the barbecue competition.
If there's food involved, I volunteer.
Food involved, the mayor's going to be there. So it's a great event. All those funds go to the Monticello Recreation Foundation, helps Monticello Recreation Department. So hopefully you can show up for all of it or some of it.
Okay, thank you, Terry.
What time did you say the recycling events were?
doesn't say a time.
Okay, I'll look it up.
They're just hosting. It usually starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, I think, so. Oh, I have one more business news. KB Community Cafe is now open at 102 East Lafayette. That's the old Catholic Church building. Hours are 6:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. Wednesday through Monday. I went and it's great, so try it out. It's wonderful. New business. Resolution 2025-55, a resolution granting a conditional use permit to allow multiple buildings on a single property at 2000 Innovation Parkway, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant, through or no, is seeking a conditional use permit for multiple buildings on a single property in a parcel zoned I-1, which is general industrial, at the property commonly known as 2000 Innovation Parkway. Well, commonly now, it's after the new road we built for these businesses, it's now Innovation Parkway. City of Monticello Code of Ordinances, Section 153.018D2 allows such a structure once a conditional use permit is issued. Granting the conditional use permit will not be detrimental or endanger public health, safety, morals, comfort, general welfare, or the normal and orderly development of the improving of surrounding environments. A public hearing was held today. There were no comments made regarding the proposed conditional use permit. The statutory requirement to publish in the Piatt County Journal went out. All adjacent neighbors were notified. No comments came back in favor or denial, but Mr. Rosenberry from Through or No is here to answer any questions should you have any. And the Planning and Zoning Board unanimously recommended approval of this conditional use permit at today's council meeting.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2025-55, a resolution granting a conditional use permit to allow multiple buildings on a single property at 2000 Innovation Parkway, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions? Comments or questions? Hearing or seeing, I may have a roll call, please.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Woodham?
Yes.
Mr. Carey?
Yes.
Ms. Lively? Yes. Mr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance 2025-56. An ordinance amending the zoning map and issuing a conditional use permit at 1215 Raymond Road, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois. Jim?
Mayor, that's the one that the Planning and Zoning Board just tabled and made no recommendation to move it forward to.
Okay, so we will just consider it at a later date, correct? Is that correct? Okay, if it's tabled, it's not been moved on, I can't do anything with it. Moving on, Resolution 2025-57, a resolution granting a conditional use permit to allow a ground-mounted solar array at 1215 Raymond Road, City of Monticello, Piatt County, Illinois. Jim?
Same.
Same? Okay. It's going to be faster than I thought. D, speed limit adjustment, East Washington Street, Bridge Street, South Market Street, and North Market Street, discussion only. Mr. Summers.
So I think Chief Ross and I are going to talk about each one of these separately. We talked about them, I don't know, two or three years ago, right before we made the speed adjustment on Old Route 47 out by Lodge Park. The council decided to go ahead and reduce that through that section to 35 miles an hour. So tonight we'd like to talk about, and it's obviously discussion only, first one maybe East Washington Street. This would be that portion of Washington Street near and or adjacent to middle school. Currently, the speed limit as you come into town goes from 55 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. 30 begins right there at the eastern edge of Tapman Village property. So in past discussions, and I think discussions even of late, Chief Ross has had with Jim's got the aerial up there. Thank you. In recent conversations with either parents or neighborhood residents, there has been some concern brought to Rob's attention, and I'll hand it over to Rob about some speeding in that location. So, Rob, you want to take that one?
Can you move that over just a little bit to the west, please? Perfect, thank you. There we go. Sorry, Mike, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're good.
have to use this one.
All right.
So as we head west into town, most of these complaints are coming from staff, some at the middle school, parents. We do have coming into town 40 from roughly pregame, and our 30-mile-an-hour sign hits the Welcome to Monticello sign. It's posted right around in that area. Due to state law, we have to wait 500 feet past that sign to the west before we can enforce any sort of speed limit by electronic means, radar. It's actually state law. So whenever you see 55 to 40 or 40 to 30 or any sort of speed limit change, you have to wait 500 feet past that point before you can enforce the speed limit. So what we run into is usually the buses all come out of here, parents are here, and if anybody ever picked up their middle school kid, it's in the very nice line that goes to the west trying to pick up the kiddos. Still 40 until we hit this 30-mile-an-hour sign, and we cannot enforce until approximately 500 feet, which puts us roughly in this area without doing the distance measurement. So our proposal would be, if the council decided to do it, move the 30 miles an hour at least to where our 40-mile-an-hour signs are roughly pregame. Make this 30, then that way by the time we hit this east entrance and exit through the middle school, we can actually enforce that 30 miles an hour, get that speed reduced to hopefully avoid some of the near misses we've had. And again, right, wrong, or indifferent, we have a lot of parking along this road for pickup, anywhere from well, they start loading into the parking lot darn near 2:30. This starts getting plugged up about 3 o'clock since dismissal is roughly 3:15, 3:20, somewhere in there. So that is our East Washington idea, just in response to complaints. And the enforcement shows, they've cited a few people closer to the Chaucer Road doing 15, 20 miles an hour of speed limit coming into town. So obviously, just like we did on Old Route 47, when we reduced that from 45 to 35, it is not a tickets for toaster idea. We don't, come down with the hand of God. We put our speed trailer up. We write a ton of warnings. It's an education portion for about a week or two, and then the enforcement starts. So that's what we have for East Washington. Anyone have any questions?
Comments or questions?
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
So could we solve that a little bit by moving our 40 out further so that they have to be going 40? Because is the problem that they're,
Well, we have a lot of signs that say 30 and 40. People don't follow the signs.
well, that's where the,
I'm just looking at we can. Again, my ask would be from 500 feet from here to wherever that is, to put that 30. And then that way we have that, at least it slows down for the middle school entrance and exit.
is the idea that they're going between 30 and 40? Is the idea that they're still going?
They're still going
50.
fast throughout that,
Yeah.
but keep in mind, we can't enforce anything. Because if it's 30 here, actually right where that sign is, we can't enforce anything.
But if it's 40 further out, then you can enforce it. They're going, faster
Yeah.
than 40. I don't know what the,
So wherever the 40 is, Jim, would that be roughly at pregame coming in?
Coming in?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So we went 500 feet, 850 foot lot. So 500 feet would take you roughly to the entrance to the Methodist church.
so you
Give or
could
take.
enforce 40 there.
40 there.
Yeah. But I think you wouldn't need it to be down to 30 by the time you get to the,
Pregame gets just as busy at certain times of the day, especially
Yeah.
evening, and when the weather gets cold, I
Correct.
think it's smart to get that 35 back, get people slowed down. And I think the biggest thing is, when people, I myself will catch myself, oh, I'm going a little fast. It's whenever there's not, 35 seems really slow on Monticello Road, but it doesn't in town because there's things coming by you faster. I think with the development that's taking place, moving out there, I think that'll help slow people down too. But moving that 35 back and being able to enforce it is the important part.
Correct. And keep in mind, we do have Tapman, the second entrance to Tapman Village subdivision, whatever we want to call that. That is now a through road. So once they start developing that, you're going to have more traffic.
Any other comments? Questions? Okay, thanks a lot.
Talking about it.
It's okay. What's your next thing?
So in order to adjust these speeds, we would need the city council would need to pass an ordinance. So if there's interest in adjusting these speeds, Chief and I need to know as soon as possible to get an ordinance prepared for you to vote on. So
Okay, are we going to make any comments about Bridge Street?
Is this all or nothing, or can we do one or one of two?
no, they're all separate. I don't want to tie one to another.
Right. They have to write 4 ordinances, they will. I mean, that's,
so the proposal is to move to 30 further out.
This one I'm on board with. I think this one's great.
Agreed.
Yeah, I never could understand it while we
It probably should have been done years
he's on the right
Yes.
end of all that. Drop off right by school.
So I would assume we would adjust 30, 40, 55. Now that would take assistance from Pike County. But we would go, I don't think we would propose 55 to 30.
No, we need to have that down as opposed to, we do not want this to seem like a trap of 55 to 20. We aren't doing
Where's the line that differentiates the city versus county?
that. So ours, sorry, Jim.
The pink there.
Jim, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right there.
Right here? So it's city corporate limits, roughly, for lack of a better term, where the farm starts. And just on the other side of pregame here to the east.
So we would be able to move our 35 back to that point.
30.
Or 30, but the county would have to install the 40.
That, Jim?
So basically, not to oversimplify it, the county is going to pick up all the signs that are there, shift them back, so when you hit the city limits, you're at 30. Because the MUTCD, the manual uniform traffic, that tells you how far to do that. We've been in contact with Eric Seabrick about doing this, and he's aware. So essentially, yes.
The last thing we want is that abrupt braking
Yeah.
or backing up right over top of the hill. So
Well, and keep in mind,
It comes down.
coming down the hill, we want to make sure there's plenty of warning out there, big signs. If we have to put flags on it or flashing lights, we'll do that.
So Bridge Street,
yes, I think I would recommend to write something up for Bridge Street.
Okay. For East Washington.
Yeah, each Washington, sorry.
Bridge Street.
Bridge Street, Bridge Street.
So right now, Bridge Street, Center / Bridge Street, if you're heading west from Center Street, it's 30 miles an hour till you get to about Ridings Chevrolet. Then it's 35. Then at the Calvary Baptist Church, it transitions. If you're westbound, you can go 45 miles an hour. If you're eastbound, supposed to be doing 35 at that low, at Railroad Street and Foothill. And then it changes to 45 miles an hour right before the Sangamon Bridge. And then it maintains 45 miles an hour across Interstate 72. There has been discussion about extending 35 miles an hour further west. Is it 35, Chief, or 30, 35? 35 miles an hour further east to some point, and a logical point for 35, and then obviously transitioning to a higher rate of speed. You start getting into other side roads, Fissler, County Farm Road. Fissler has a blind spot as you are pulling up to Bridge Street and looking west. There's a blind spot. It's just a bad sight distance looking towards old Route 47. Then you get into Oakwood Drive, Eastgate, intersection of Route 47. So a logical place to go from 35 miles an hour to a different higher rate of speed. It's kind of up for discussion, but Chief, you got, and I will say Foothill and Railroad Street is a very busy bus drop off. Several, I don't know how many kids get off there, but it's a very busy area where parents pull into the Calvary Baptist Church parking lot there and pick their kids up. And then again, at that intersection, some people are able to drive at 45 miles an hour, while westbound is still supposed to be driving 35. So Chief, you need to add anything?
So we did look up the accidents for the last 2 years. So from this date back in 2023 to now, we had one accident here at Foothill and Bridge Street, non-bus related. We have a few times stopped people from passing the bus that drops off there at the Calvary, or stops on the road, but it's by the Calvary Baptist Church. We do have the blind turn once you hit 45. We've had 4 accidents at the intersection of Old Route 47 and Bridge Street. Obviously, the higher the speed limit, 45 miles an hour, the higher the impact, a lot more energy, a lot more opportunity for injuries for that accident. We had one that drove directly into the guardrail, and then we've had a few 2-car accidents, either trying to go across or turning in front of a vehicle. And as you may remember, coming off of the interstate, you come downhill to Old Route 47, where it's still 45. If you're coming off of Old Route 47 from the north, or I'm sorry, to the east, that is difficult to look over to your right. Keep in mind too, once the recreation fields start being used extensively, or Oberheim Park, you're going to have a lot of traffic on Saturdays because of soccer, very popular. Hang out by Kratz Road on a Saturday in between September and October sometimes, see how much fun that is. And then with the ball diamonds being used, we're going to see a lot more traffic coming off of 72 and Old Route 47. So we're just trying to look ahead a little bit, maybe mitigate some of our problems. My suggestion would be to maybe make that 35. Hopefully it starts slowing down some people once they get down to the bottom of that hill. And we would do the same thing if the council so chose to do that. You know, it's not a tickets for toasters or anything like that. We put enough signage out there. We put enough public education and try to really get people just to slow down. Because contrary to what we see on some of the DMV road tests, going slower isn't always worse. You know, this isn't the interstate. Slower means usually saving lives. And if you do get an accident, you have a lot better chance of not having an injury on a low speed accident. So.
Questions?
Where's city limit coming in off of that?
So, and Jim, I'm still trying to grasp my head. corporate limits is Old Route 47. However, we have a jurisdictional transfer of the road, the overpass to roughly 4 Square Church.
Look at that little thing about it.
Okay, so just on the other side of the 72 westbound off ramp.
Yeah, if you look, there's the corporate limits right there,
Okay.
cutting across the road.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cyan colored line.
The IDOT controls the bridge, right?
Correct. And I mean, if you remember, it was 35 miles an hour while they were doing construction. Didn't have a lot of complaint. We had some from the construction workers of people speeding. We went ahead and posted an officer out there for a while just to get people to slow down. Again, not that we like to write tickets. I don't like giving the state of Illinois more money than I have to, but if it's going to save some construction workers' life, I'm okay with that too. So.
So now one, I guess, side effect or one thing that comes out of this is that this allows golf carts all on Monticello or on Bridge Street, the County Farm Road or whatever.
They do.
Correct?
Really?
So
Because they can drive on things.
if you wanted to do that,
Down on 40.
you could, because they're allowed on any road that's 35 or less. They would not be able to go on Old Route 47. Because this is 45 until you hit, I think just before Apple Tree. That's 55.
You could go on county.
County Farm Road.
You could.
So is
I don't have
that,
a golf cart, don't want one.
No,
so technically that opens all that up to golf carts in driving down Bridge Street then?
It could. Keep in mind, it's a city road. You can make an ordinance not allowing that either. I mean,
There's people that want it. Do you want this to happen though? I guess golf carts out there too. I know.
I don't own one.
understand.
But again, if the board sees that that's a problem, we can limit that. We have a sign out there now, no golf carts past Weather Oaks Railroad.
So my question to you would be, I mean, I hear from people that live out there that wish that they could get their golf carts into Monticello. So, I mean, I'm sensitive to that, but at the same time, from your standpoint, how safe is it for golf carts on Bridge Street?
It's safer at 35 than it is at 45. Again, we talk about lower speed.
Assuming that they're going to be driving 30.
Correct. Yeah, well, I mean, I assume a lot of things in life, sometimes. It doesn't come to fruition.
Tough when to stop for a long period of time.
Yes, I agree.
So, but again, if,
Start writing tickets, I get it.
right. Or if we see that, if that becomes a hindrance as opposed to something that's, hey, this works, again, we can nip that in the bud and just say, because we have had people on their golf cart, oh, I'm going in for homecoming, or oh, I'm just going to the golf club. And we explain to them, no, it's 45 miles an hour out here. Luckily, we're gifted enough that it's wide enough of a shoulder
And that's what I was wondering.
that they can go off on the side. Now, the bridge is a little different. It narrows it down a little bit.
When I'm going around town in my golf cart, I'm hugging the road and waving people past.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how feasible that would be out on Bridge Street because
You do have a wider shoulder that you don't necessarily have on some of the other streets in town. So.
well, I think this, I mean, in that case, I think this is a win-win because, and it's not going to be extremely popular because reducing the speed is never popular, but I do think it makes sense to be ahead of the increased traffic we're going to see to go ahead and start saying, okay, let's start slowing down through here.
Anything else? So,
You're saying 35 at Old 47. You can get to Old 47.
Right. Because remember, it's the 50 or the 500 foot rule.
Right, yeah.
So then you would have basically to Fizzler Road, roughly, somewhere where it would take over. So we'd have them slowed down by the time they got onto the bridge.
Can't you do that closer to like the ramp for the interstate where they're coming off that it's 35?
We have to be careful on how close we put that by an off ramp. I mean, I know it seems silly to think that, but they already have, I think, 4 signs in between the off ramp and Old Route 47. And I would argue they don't really need, we all know we're going to Monticello, it's not so much a mile away.
I think also that intersection with 47, if they can be doing 35, I think there needs to be a traffic study in the very near future for that intersection with the increased traffic volume, not only from Overheim Park, but from residential subdivisions that's being built out there. I have heard a lot of complaints. If you're traveling from, let's say, from the northeast down to Bridge Street, if you hit that at a certain time of day, you are there for a long amount of time.
Try to turn left.
If you, turn left to come into town. If you go to Fissler to try to avoid that intersection, you have a blind spot looking back towards the west. So I would probably be asking council for some engineering money to do a traffic study there for the possibility of a third stoplight. Maybe it's the four-way stop in the future.
Seems reasonable.
There's somebody in this.
That slows down people most of the time. They might slow down for a stop sign, so. When they figure out it's not a suggestion.
Yeah, so 35 miles an hour, maybe there's more reason to do 35
Exactly.
with the possibility of some kind of traffic control at that location. Interest in that?
As far as moving it back, I think so.
Yeah.
I think,
Are you meaning doing the traffic study then too, or?
Well, I'll probably ask.
That'll be coming later, I think.
Probably ask council to see if we got money to budget that for 2026 budget.
Okay. How about South Market?
South Market. South Market, obviously we're dealing with school speed limit zone, school athletic facilities south of Kratz Road, so on and so forth. Currently, if you disregard school speed limit 20 when children are present, speed limit southbound is 30 miles an hour. Till you get to somewhere, is that by the old Nabisco?
That's not, yeah.
It goes from 30 to 45. If you could get Kratz Road and the varsity baseball field, Jim.
It's right there.
So you're going southbound, it's 30 past, you see where the baseball, softball track, the soccer fields are at. There's Kratz Road on the north side. You're 30 past that, and then you get to near the softball field, and it jumps to 45 miles an hour, and it goes 45 miles an hour past Burnside, past Tractor Supply. So there have been conversations about perhaps reducing going from 30 miles an hour, and then where it transitions to 45, perhaps make that 35 heading south past Burnside, the Bear Park kind of entrance there by Tractor Supply. And then keep in mind, this would take some coordination with the Illinois Department of Transportation, because that is their jurisdiction as far as speed limits past where we would be implementing our signage. Chief?
We've had 2 accidents in the area of Market and Kratz in the last 2 years, which doesn't sound like a lot unless it's your kid getting involved. With that being said, keep in mind, is the restaurant open? There will be increased traffic we foresee in the near future on Innovation. So that is something also to take into effect, a lot more vehicles coming and going from that stop sign. Again, we also have the sports complex there for softball and baseball, which is great that everyone shows up for those things.
And I think when we looked at a few years back, I don't think the bus barn was there yet.
No.
And so now you have also, I don't know, however many school buses entering and exiting that site on Innovation Park.
The other thing the school has done is they have done insurance they've on the parking lots across the street. So people can park at those lots and walk across baseball and softball field, which they do.
So they can park, yeah, we see a lot at Nabisco
Yes,
along there. I mean, luckily they aren't parked on the side of the road, they're up in the
correct.
south.
So when you have people walking across.
Right.
And this one seems another one where it's like, being so close to a school, it just doesn't, it seems to make sense, like, at least get back to where you encompass the school.
Mhm.
Like, meaning the athletic fields is part of the school, get back to where.
And you're going to have the restaurant there.
Allegedly. So yeah, again, we're definitely going to see a lot more traffic on Innovation. So another reason maybe have people pump the brakes a little bit until they get a little further out.
And hopefully the old General Cable property. Correct. One of these days.
So what are we suggesting here? 35 at the ball fields?
35, where it says 45 roughly at Nabisco.
Yeah, and then you'd want to do 45 at Burnside or something, wherever that is.
Yep.
Because you don't want to go 55 down to 30.
Correct. Which would take you roughly to the historical marker, I think.
And it'd be
Before
45
it's-
there.
Yeah. 55 south.
We're talking what, 10 miles an hour reduction over
It's a long way.
500 feet, 1,000 feet at top. But once again, it allows you to enforce that.
It helps us enforce it. And again, with the increased traffic coming and going out of here, we want to try to slow people down, at least for the rear end accidents that we usually see with increased traffic to a business.
Does that mean you'll let golf carts go up and down the?
No, because that is a state highway. By law, golf carts
Market Street.
are not allowed state highway.
That's Market Street. You can't drive on Market.
I just figured if you bump
That's what the old
limit down with.
cinder track is for.
Yep. So we're good there. Proceed.
That would make sense.
Okay.
North Market.
North Market.
And this is, we had talked about this when we did the Kirby, correct? We had
Yeah.
talked about taking it out around that corner.
Yeah. So we talked about we talked about all of North Market Street, all the way out to Route 47, Lodge Park. We received letters from Walnut Pond, Kirby Hospital, maybe one or two others out there about reducing it alongside Lodge Park. Subsequent to that, if you come into, we're having some technical difficulties again.
I'm sorry, I wasn't loading.
So if you're coming into town, let's say we'll start from Lodge Park and the pond area. Obviously it's 35 miles an hour, and then you get to IDOT jurisdiction over it's 4872. They did, when we changed ours to 35 miles an hour, IDOT did change that section they control over Interstate 72, reduce it from 50 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour. So it's 45 miles an hour when you get near the westbound off ramp of 72. You go 45 miles an hour over the bridge over 72. And then it continues, existing speed limit continues 45 miles an hour into town until you get to just before Cemetery Road. Then it drops to 40 miles an hour. And we're going to catch up with the IT department here shortly. And then it continues into town southbound 40 miles an hour until you get just past
Catholic Church.
BRX by the St. Philomena Church. It drops to 35 miles an hour and continues 35 miles an hour until you get to the Circle K by the intersection of Market and Center Street. Then it drops to 30 miles an hour. Previous discussions talked about perhaps posting 30 miles an hour from going backwards from Center Street all the way out to where it at Cemetery Road. So 30 heading all the way out towards Cemetery Road and then adjusting it 35 miles an hour northbound, so reducing it from 45 to 35 all the way out to the city jurisdiction past Ironwood's Place. So, Rob, you gonna add anything to that?
So from Piatran, Pike County Mental Health, that area, to Oglesby, we've had 8 accidents reported there in the last 2 years. One roughly just north of Oglesby, one on the north entrance of Circle Drive. And that happened in the winter. Someone's going too fast for conditions, drove off the road, and ended up in the yard there. One by, I believe it was by Stevens' old garage. One by just north of Cemetery Road, and then quite a few, 4 it looks like, right around the area of Ducky Daycare, Premier Fitness, Maddox now. One of those actually involved a school bus. A woman was driving down Ducky. I believe the bus was getting ready to go in to Ducky Daycare to drop off. Woman came down this road, actually sideswiped the bus, and then continued on. There's a few other factors in that. So obviously, you have a ton of people go to Premier Fitness, Ducky Daycare in the morning and in the afternoon for pickup, busy place. And then you have the Maddox building. And then again, further north, Pike County Mental Health and Piatran Bank. Yet you have the bank there. A lot of day clients at Pike County Mental Health and Piatran, dropping them off. So again, just a lot of traffic in that area. So, and what we've seen over the last 2 years, a bit of an increase in traffic accidents. So.
Any way to tell how fast those cars were going at those accidents? I'm trying to think, is the speed limit the problem, or is it the people just going way too fast?
Well, I mean, rarely is there one cause for a traffic accident.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's distracted, sometimes it's, driver experience. With one we had, there may have been some onset dementia, Alzheimer's somewhere in there. So a lot of factors come in. The state of Illinois spends millions of dollars trying to figure out an end all be all and trying to stop traffic accidents. I'm short of us reconstructing and trying to figure that out. On our forums, it's usually they post the speed limit and that's it. Now, if someone says, hey, I was just going way too fast, that's a fact. Rarely, if at all, does someone admit to speeding during an accident. So
I'm just trying to figure out if the speed limit would make a difference.
sure.
I think visibility is an issue on that road because there's so much curve. It doesn't just curve once.
Curve and downhill. As you're coming south, you're going 45, 40, coming downhill. Then once you get past the water tower, you're running into,
Coming out of Cemetery Road, it's difficult to see what's coming from the north. Same thing at the bank in the center, it's the same thing. You know, it's,
well, I mean, yeah, coming out of the bank and coming out of Pytran or Mental Health, you're trying to look behind you.
yeah.
Trying to,
So I think slowing down might have to look. Is there any way we can get the state to adjust theirs over the bridge? Have we contacted them again? I don't, years ago.
Yeah, I talked to them before we reduced hours and they were unwilling to. Then after we adjusted ours, when Rick Riding's out to 35, they came back in and dropped theirs from 50 to 45.
But can I ask, you may not remember, but why would they object to using the city's limits when people have to come to complete stop and before they go either direction? You should be able to establish whatever speed limit in town, and it is in town, so. Did they didn't want to listen to it, right? You can smile, it's okay.
There was no interest from the Illinois Department of Transportation.
I bet there still is, if you want to know.
And like you said, I mean, if you're heading out of town, you got to make a 90-degree turn. So then, yeah, you can get up to 55, but then you're going right back down to our speed limit.
Yeah.
And if you're coming into town, okay, gun it. Go over the bridge, you got to come to a complete stop. So it's really not saving you anything. So it's,
No. What's the proposal? Give it to me again, because, I'm older than most of you, so I need clarifications.
correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, proposal would be 35 from the stops, more or less Mobile North,
Okay,
to give landmarks. Mobile North down to,
Center Street,
no, no.
I bet Cemetery.
Cemetery Road.
Cemetery Road, thank you. I was trying to,
And then 30 from Cemetery Road to
south.
the end of town.
and this would be a change from,
35.
currently we have
40.
45 and then 40 and then 35.
I think that's,
It's kind of
I
hard.
think that's too far to make that 30.
well, and that's, when you're coming in, it just drops by 5. It starts all the way out.
Less sold on this one.
Can't you just make it like 35 all the way in? I'm just told.
Well, it would be 35 all the way into,
Circle K.
Oh, yeah, or Circle K, whatever we want to call it.
K to Circle K.
35 just all the way through until it hits
Center
30 at Bioben, yeah.
I don't have any problem with that.
35?
And I would agree, that's a little more palatable than 30 on that. Once you get into the thick of it, 30 is good, but.
It's not safe to drive 35 on there because people pass you, especially going out of town. Sure, it's you.
I come out Cemetery Road every day, and I'm like, that's my speed run to the interstate. Slightly speedy, I should say.
Okay, so we got that. Any other comments or questions about this? I think it's good that we are addressing these issues because I think they've needed to be addressed for a long time. Anyone have anything else? Okay, we'll move on. Number 7, Alderman's reports. Mike, since you're alone.
Oh, hey, the Brook Park, wonderful. We've taken advantage of the pickleball courts out there and there.
Well, I was hoping you had. But
Yeah.
Are you the one that was cutting the locks before they were open? So you-
No.
Just,
I mean, the lights out there are great. I mean, there's a lot of, they're getting a lot of use these days.
okay. Thomas?
Nothing.
nothing tonight.
No, sir.
Really? Cole? Andrea?
2 things.
Okay.
I concur. It's cool to see a small town thriving, and how you see it thriving is things like the park, like, I don't have young kids anymore, but it's so cool. And I'm like, man, I wish they had that when my kids were younger. And also going to the library and seeing the development of Overheim Park's pretty,
I can't believe that.
it's so fast that it's cool.
Is that it? Police chief's report, Rob?
Said most of mine. And quick, just really proud of our officers. We have a lot of new officers. One graduating the academy here in about 4 weeks, give or take. Some of the new ones have been handed a lot to investigate, and it's no longer taking reports, filed away, never see it again. Taking reports, filed away, never see it again. We have officers that want to investigate these things, that are getting arrests, that are getting charges, complete reports to the state's attorney. I'm very happy. I can't talk enough about them. They are exceeding my expectations, and I'm very, very proud.
And we're full, right?
Correct. Yes.
As of right now, right?
As of now.
That's awesome.
That's great. Thank you. The administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. We met, staff, Mayor Stoner, police chief, met the police union this past week and started, and I think finished the negotiations. So I will be presenting something to the city council in the very near future for a 3-year lease contract to vote on. Then Overheim Park, I am going to engage with a local individual that flies drones, and I'm going to have him fly over Overheim Park. I wish I would have started July 1st because they've made so much progress in a very short amount of time, but I did not do that. So hopefully once a week, we'll have drone footage, video and pictures that hopefully Callie will post on social media, Facebook, so everybody can kind of see the progress. There'll be times that we won't be flying because you won't see progress when doing certain things. So as construction dictates, we'll be getting videos and pictures put on the website, Facebook. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I thought maybe. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. On the 20, no. Next one.